What is up, guys? Drac6Dude here, and today I wanted to talk about Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 1, the kind of changes that are shown in this game, and how our gameplay experience might be a little bit different than next year's or the years after that. Of course, you could always like this video and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content on a daily basis. But with further ado, I'm going to start. In the upcoming game, Battlefield 1, you can see multiple changes, as any franchise that makes a regular sequel usually keeps this a factor when producing another game in the saga of titles, but also wants to add to its core value of that franchise, DICE in this case adding enough variety and change to keep people interested, but they want to stay true to what makes their core success in the Battlefield franchise. Some games have been really similar when it comes to Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4. These two games show that DICE keeps to its core reason of gameplay when it comes to conquest-style games, with that same settings, graphics, and weapons. I could say that the jump from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 1 is a much steeper incline than 3 or 4. Graphics are much better than the gameplay mechanics are much different when it comes to both games. The beef in Battlefield 4 will not be in Battlefield 1 simply because they do not work because of the theme shift from both games. No more helicopters or lock-on weaponry, just to name a few of the features that will obviously not be in the new upcoming title, Battlefield 1. Also, of course, no handheld rocket launchers will be included in the game as well. Since there are no skyscrapers, the massive verticality of the map or the combat will drastically change, as there will be no big city maps added to Battlefield 1. This theme shift will force Battlefield 1 completely differently than it did before. Verticality when it comes to combat scenarios will be greatly reduced, although the windmills on St. Quentin's Star will definitely be added to the mix. That allowed for a third or fourth story build on. Windmill sniping compared to that of Siege of Shanghai is completely different, obviously. This might cause people to miss that long-range sniper gameplay mechanic that was in past games. Infantry and how they interact with vehicles got a massive change. Due to scenario restrictions, there will not be any lock-on weapons in the game. Even any dumbfire rocket launchers are reduced due to time period. Although the AT rocket launcher that is much more difficult to use, you have to be prone and use the bipod. The infantry destructive power is significantly reduced due to this, unlike in past Battlefield games. Obviously, the RPG or Stinger could fix vehicle problems that may be in your way a little bit easier. This makes this usage much more limited than that of in Battlefield 1. Soldiers will have weapons like the mortar in the game that will allow them to lob explosive rounds long distance, although it will be nothing like able to shoot a rocket across the map at an armored vehicle, greatly changing the armor dynamic that is in the game. Currently, tanks in the game have a big damage potential and very long distance oriented. Infantry have been nerfed in the long-range department when it comes to vehicle-to-infantry combat, especially considering the fact that one class can really go against the tanks and other armored vehicles. The dynamic between infantry and armor had changed significantly now, making it completely different than that of Battlefield 4 compared to Battlefield 1. With that, infantry to air vehicles are more chaotic. This brings an even bigger change when it comes to discussing this type of combat. Firstly, there is an absence of helicopters. Attack and scout helicopters in Battlefield 4 were incredibly effective weapons and can be used a lot in that game to its owner's advantage. Something you truly had to hide from or get a lucky rocket shot to take down as an infantry. Otherwise, you were just going to die. The gunner seats on the attack helicopters could massacre infantry scout helicopters as well, and even a transport heli with a good side gunner could take down infantry. There was a lot of aerial threats in Battlefield 4 that was specifically designed to take out infantry. Aircraft in Battlefield 1 are capable of killing infantry, but nowhere near the same level to that of Battlefield 4. Think about the stealth jet in Battlefield 4 and how effective it is at killing infantry. The bombs from the bomber are a bit more effective, but not as much as in Battlefield 4. Basically, aerial threats are the least of your concern in Battlefield 1. As in Battlefield 4, you see a helicopter flying, you better run and hide. Instead of stingers or iglas, they placed a bunch of flat cannons around the map. These flat cannons can be very useful in taking out aircraft and very hard to anticipate. If you fly close to one, you can be guaranteed to go down if the gunner is remotely good. Due to the damage potential on one of those flat cannons, long story short, there are no anti-air infantry in the game, but weapons placed around the map that can take down the aerial vehicles. Plus, small arms fire damages aircraft now, not a thing in Battlefield 4. Can do serious damage to aircraft and possibly taking it down. Compared to Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 4, it drastically changes for infantry to aerial combat. Infantry has gotten a massive buff for dealing with aerial vehicles. The scales have shifted drastically when it comes to this style of combat. All of this information is from the alpha, and plenty of the more information to come. There is more time for DICE to shift up the model of the game. They might need to buff the air, as that is a possibility in the upcoming release of the title. Of course, the biggest change that I have noticed in the upcoming game is the non-existence of assault rifles. Obviously, due to the setting of the game, these weapons will not be included due to historical reasons. This actually shifts infantry combat to other infantry a hell of a lot. No more carbines in the game as well. We have SMGs, but their range is significantly reduced. We have a ton of bolt action and semi-auto rifles that are better at medium to long range combat. Machine guns are much more different, where you must hold down the fire button before they become accurate. The actual infantry gun mechanics have shifted exponentially. Transitioning from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 1 will introduce a bigger learning curve. You might be taken back a bit due to the changes in weaponry if you were used to Battlefield 4. The separation of classes and their engagement distances are much different as well. In Battlefield 4, you could really mold your class to what your style of gameplay is in the game. I anticipate that people will not enjoy the new gun mechanics in the upcoming game, or just missing assault rifles and carbines. I anticipate a good number of people continuing to play Battlefield 4 for a long time, even after Battlefield 1 comes out. It allows shooters to fill Battlefield role, biggest Battlefield transitions that have been seen for many games. We had an experimental hardline game that housed many mixed reactions, and PC version is hardly being played anymore. Big theme shift in Battlefield is a big deal. Could make World War I much better. The theme shift definitely changed the gameplay a lot. If you have enjoyed this video, of course, you can leave a like, subscribe, and comment on what you think might be wrong or correct about this. And I will see you guys in the next one.